You need to get out of your head.
The progression is I'm going to knock them upside the head and take the bread from them.
To get out of your head. To get out of your head. Things, because it is wicked, right?
White man doesn't even come into my attitude. Mr. Muhammad teaches us to love our own kind and let the white man take care of himself.
Something by some level. Like, oh my bad. Hope everybody's doing well again for another day. Alright, so today we are going to be talking about the character of people, how it plays a part in spirituality, and also we're going to be talking about a study that was done that I had spoke about last time, where they kind of wanted to see or test the behaviors of men to see whether or not people are innately good or just innately pieces of shit. And the verdict is that a lot of people are innately pieces of shit.
So our first participant delivered shocks to a man begging him to stop. Let's see what our next few subjects do.
Tell him that it was the wrong answer, and then how much you're going to administer.
That was the wrong answer, so I'm going to administer
15 volts of electricity.
So that was the incorrect answer.
And that was an incorrect answer.
Oh, you got that one wrong.
That is incorrect.
I'm going to administer 30 volts.
45 volts.
60 volts.
75 volts. The correct answer is hair. Ow! Yikes.
That was the incorrect answer. So I'll administer 90 volts.
Oh! Man, that stings. 105 volts. Ow!
I'm going to be applying 120 volts.
Ow! Ow! The correct answer was woman.
That was the incorrect answer. I'll be administering 150 volts.
That'll be 150.
150 volts.
I am going to administer 150 volts.
Experimenter, that's all. Get me out of here. I told you I had heart trouble. My heart's starting to bother me now. Get me out of here, please. My
Please
heart's
continue.
starting to bother me. Let me out.
Please continue.
Let me out.
Please continue.
Okay. Sad. Face.
All these guys are going beyond the crucial 150.
Axe.
Music.
That is an incorrect answer.
They hesitate, but still they continue.
That was the incorrect answer.
So now it'll be 165.
I'm going to have to apply 165 volts.
I'm administering 165 volts.
That's what they brought me here to do. That's what I agreed to do. So I'm going to do it. I kind of think people are a bunch of crybabies for the most part. I mean, I was willing to take the shock.
If the doctor's there sitting there telling me to go on and apply the shock, let's go with it.
When Milgram conducted this experiment back in 1961, 65% of the subjects went all the way. 50 years later, after decades of sensitivity training and an endless stream of news about the horrors of genocide, could we really have changed so little?
I know that we would like to believe that we live in a society where everybody is nice or everybody tries to be nice, but the reality of it is that that's not the case at all. Majority of people are terrible people, and they're aware of it, and they don't mind being terrible people because it benefits them. So in this theory, in my mind, I'm like, well, as long as it benefited one person, nobody cared. Someone could have died, but as long as it benefited one person, they didn't care. They were even willing to laugh at the suffering of another person, which is one-on-one what we see here today. So when I started off my tarot channel, it was because I was just confused by the behavior of people, especially the people that I thought was closest to me at one point. There was a lot of behavior that was going on that was kind of scaring me because I didn't understand, why I didn't think that way. understanding more and more as time goes on, as I get older, that the way that I feel and think is rare. It's not something that majority of people feel and think and how they behave, right? Meaning, like, you literally have the energy of a person that would put yourself on the line to protect another person, regardless if you know them or not. Right is right, wrong is wrong to you. You're a person where you don't really have much gray area. Everything is kind of black and white. And the reason why, I remember someone saying this, and I don't remember who exactly said this, but they said the reason why there is no gray area is because things are always the same with you, and not the same two I'm saying, and not the same as in you don't grow, but the same as in you are I don't want to use the word definite, but every single thing that you do, the way that you behave, it's constant. That's the word that I was looking for. It's constant. Your behavior is constant. With these people, their behavior fluctuates a lot. And when I'm saying that, I'm speaking about the level of good and bad, right? Like, for you, of course, everybody in this world has done bad things. I'm not, dismissing that for anybody, even myself. But it's a way to go about it, right? I talk about balance here a lot, right? I like when things are balanced out, meaning that things are just, right? You're a person that follows principle, right? And you follow that principle to a T. If you say, hey, I don't like people that partake in this activity, next year you're not going to like people partaking in that activity. It's not, you understand what I'm saying? So there's not really much gray area with you. It's black and white. It's like, no, this is what I said, this is what it is, this is how I act, this is who I am. With a lot of people, more than none, individuals don't know themselves, right? They are aware that their behavior speaks to a disgusting character, right? But they don't want to take that on. Just like how I kept saying that there's a lot of disgusting traits that people have that they don't want to acknowledge, because why would you want to think of yourself like that? If you're a follower, why would you want to think like, oh, I'm a follower? Nobody wants to think like that. Everybody thinks that they're the leader. And I remember posing this question: if everybody is the good guy, then who is bad? Right? Apparently, we live in a world where people that know that they're the bad guy, they don't want to acknowledge that. Like, if everybody is good, then who's bad? You don't want to look at yourself as a bad person, because if you look at yourself as a bad person, then you would have to acknowledge all the bullshit that you do. And you possibly might have to straighten up. That's not something that a lot of people want to do. People don't want to do that work, right? The physical work is sometimes more easier than doing the inner work. And that's something that a lot of people don't get. I feel like people like myself in this world, that you kind of, because I went through this phase where I was just wondering, like, what the fuck is going on with everybody? I feel like I'm living among NPCs. Like, it's like everybody wrote in their brain to be pieces of shit, and they just kind of just going with it, no questions asked. And to some degree, that is true. To some degree, that is true. How do you believe your thoughts work? Right? Do you believe that your thoughts are 100% yours? Do you believe that your thoughts are created? Do you believe that someone else has the ability to project thoughts to you? Have you ever even thought of this? Right? Have you ever even thought about the way that you think, how it works? I believe that some of these thoughts that you have, right, it's not all yours. And I believe that we live in a world now where, and it might sound crazy, but I believe that certain agencies have access to those thoughts that you have, right? Meaning that not every bad thing that you think is you thinking the bad thing. Of course not. And I remember talking about balance a couple months ago when I was speaking on this situation here. So the good and bad in people, dark and light, good and evil, right? And I remember speaking on that. And when it pertains to your thoughts, it works in the same exact way, right? There's thoughts that can be projected to you, and it's your choice. See, that's one thing, amazing thing about being a human, is that you obviously have freedom of choice. You could choose to act on, react, or say or speak on, certain things that you feel and think. But you have to use discernment when you're doing these things. See, that's the reason why I don't really give people a pass when they do certain stuff. If they partake in certain negative activity or behavior, I don't give them a pass, because I understand that you had to have made that choice, right? There are some people that don't have control over their being, and I mean that in the exact way I'm saying it. I believe that exists. There's people that's walking this earth that don't have full control of their being. They're allowing every thought that processes through their mind to turn into action, right? And some of those thoughts, as I said, it's not theirs, right? Have you ever just sat down there, the intrusive thoughts, right, that people be talking about? Most of those thoughts are not yours. It's just not. Why do you think you could sit down there and think about Kool-Aid, or I don't know why I thought about Kool-Aid. I'm like, I've never drinking Kool-Aid, but like, that's not, no, niggas is not drinking. Like, bro, but like, yeah, you could sit down there and think of fucking tube socks from Hollister or something. Why am I thinking of these very old things? Who am I talking to right now? Kool-Aid and Hollister. What the fuck? Anyways, you could be thinking about these fucking stuff, bro, and you'll go look on your phone and you'll see it right there. And everyone has experiences, right? But they're like, how the fuck is this happening? It's because they have access to it in some way, shape, or form. This is the reason why they're able to build a slave-like population where, they can kind of put things out knowing for a fact that you're gonna bite. They could kind of say things knowing for a fact that you're gonna bite, because they've already tested it on you already. They've already fucking tested it on you already, and your stupid ass fucking took the bait, you idiot. Oh my god. Like, just think about it. Like, seriously fucking think about it, bro. If I know I could give you a thought in your mind, right, without even saying it to you, I could tell you, hey, go kill your family. Sounds fucking crazy, right? I could tell you, yo, go kill your family, and you actually decide to do it. I know I could control you at that point. What the fuck are you talking about? I can control your whole being. Do you understand that there's so many people that decide to take that bait? They get those negative thoughts inside of their head and they say, hey, I'm gonna take this bait. There was a guy, and I'm gonna insert this here, and I'm also gonna insert the study that spoke about Trump. He was talking about what would happen if Jesus were to come here. How would they treat Jesus? And he made this big spectacle about how Trump would deport him, which is very true. He would deport Jesus, and he would tell him, you don't belong here.
Christian nationalists have taken Trump as their new Christ because he's everything the first one was not. Jesus was poor. Trump is rich. Jesus was meek. Trump is a bully. Jesus lost, and Trump is obsessed with winning. I honestly think that if Donald Trump and J.D. Vance met Jesus today, they would ridicule him as a single, childless hippie. And in fact, Donald Trump Jr. explicitly rejected Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. He said, turning the other cheek has, quote, gotten us nothing. How did we get to the point where loving your enemy is weak and loving your neighbor is woke? I mean, they are literally rejecting the central teachings of Jesus because those teachings don't serve their own self-interest. Christian nationalism is not about the way of Jesus. It's about the pursuit of power.
In my mind, I'm like, honestly speaking, we've all had a Jesus around us at some point. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the biblical version of Jesus, but I'm talking about the mindsets. The way that they behave, the way that they think, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit out there. You know, they might not be the most, what's it called again? I'm not going to say hype beast because I'm calling Jesus a hype beast, but let's just use that because we're in a modern time, right? They might not be the most hype beast individual, right? They're laid back. They have a difference in opinion usually a lot of the time because they think differently than everyone around them. They behave differently. Normally, those people get casted out to the side. Normally, those people get bullied. And normally, those people get mistreated. But you're wondering if Trump, what he would do? What would you do if Jesus was here and around you? This is the question I really want people to like think about. Because from studies that's been done, it seems like majority of the people around us, majority of humans, would literally band together, bully Jesus, and kill him. Like, bro, I'm so serious, bro. We have a whole religious group claiming that Jesus died for our sins when Jesus was literally the first human sacrifice. Do you understand how serious that is? They can't even take accountability for the fact that their wicked heart and wicked ways and wicked thoughts was the reason why Jesus is not here. Well, he wouldn't have been here anyways, but well, probably because he's immortal, right? But I'm saying, like, you understand what the fuck I'm saying? It's the reason why Jesus died. It wasn't because he died for our sins. Can you imagine him fucking saying that? Like, yeah, just kill me, bro. Hang me up on that cross real quick. Like, he didn't say this, bro. This never happened. It never, ever, ever happened. And they're going to continue this lie. Continue to force you to read this book so they can continue to keep you inside this constant mental cycle. Can you imagine reading the same book over and over and over and over again and not actually doing any real inner work about God or your connection with God? Can you imagine that? You just sitting down inside of church every Sunday, just reading the same book, reading this same book over and over again. I literally posed this question already on here, well, on TikTok, and it's just like, nobody had an answer, obviously. Nobody really has any rebuttals to certain things that I say unless it's about the Transformers. But save that for another time. Nobody likes when I talk about Transformers. That's not neither here nor there. But yeah. Do you understand how like serious that is? Y'all literally give like this government the authority and the power to control you and then complain about the way things are. Y'all literally think that majority of people, or even yourself, whoever I'm speaking to, because it's literally like, to have a righteous heart is literally a rare thing, bro. It's not something that's common. The average person that you walk into on a daily, hell no. Hell no. There's always some gray area with these niggas, bro. I'm telling you, bro. It's like, nigga, there's something that will make them do the most inhumane and unspeakable thing to somebody else. You know? And it's just like, you have to really ask yourself, how good of a person am I? Can I really look at this nigga 747 and judge him the way how I'm judging him? When in reality, I've had individuals around me that I've treated as bad. I don't think, like, Trump's behavior, his character is that of a narcissist to me, right? But I feel like this is something that is plaguing this world, this narcissistic trait or character. And as I said prior, I believe narcissism is just kind of a sort of possession. I don't feel like you are really in control over your being. And when I say that, I'm talking about those thoughts that can be projected to you by either living or non-living beings. Literally. Right? The CIA has documents, and I'll put it here as well. I'll make sure I put them on the side of the screen so that you'll have some time to read. The CIA has documents telling you that they're able to read your thoughts. The CIA has documents telling you that there is literally a demon, not a demon, but there's literally demons and a lot of people walking around this earth. They're telling you this. And you know what people choose to do? Ignorance is bliss because it truly is, right? It truly is. You feel a little bit more comfortable when you don't know shit. You feel a little bit more happy when you don't know shit. It feels a little bit more relaxed when you don't know shit. I feel like when you get to a point of understanding and gaining wisdom about life, though, you find that peace back, and it doesn't become as scary knowing a lot of things, you know? It just doesn't, because you kind of understand, hey, I can only control what I can, which is myself. What the fuck are you controlling, bro? What are you controlling with you? Do you take ownership and control of those thoughts that come to your mind, bro? Do you take ownership and control of your actions? Do you take ownership and control of the way that you behave and how you treat other people? Because I don't think a lot of people have the capability to do this, because they are allowing, right, that second mind to control them, their being. They're allowing those thoughts to control their being. Someone gets a thought in their mind in a moment, right, and it's literally a split second. Bully this person, and they choose to do it, right? Am I supposed to look at you like you're a good person? Am I supposed to look at you like you're a decent individual? Why? Because you did it one time last year, and you never acknowledged the fact that you literally thought to bully somebody. Let's use another example. You get one thought to say something mean to somebody because you want to feel good in a moment. Oh, just say this, it'll make you feel better. And you actually do it. These are things that people really need to think about and consider. Sometimes I get thoughts that's extremely fucked up sometimes, and I literally laugh and I'll be like, nigga, please. I swear to God, bro. I'll be like, nigga, get the fuck out of here. Nigga, some thoughts that I get sometimes, I just start laughing. I'll be like, please, nigga. And that's the reason why we call it intrusive thoughts. It just comes out of nowhere and we're like, what? But I want to tell you where these intrusive thoughts are coming from. These intrusive thoughts are coming from low vibrational energies. These intrusive thoughts can sometimes come from the government. And I'm not joking at all. They have told us this. I'm like, bro, nothing I'm saying right now is cap, because niggas have literally told us this, bro. 1147, as I said it, and this is just common fucking sense at this point. Just pay attention to what happens when you think of something and go look at your phone, as I said. Right? So, I'm not in any way defending Trump's behavior. I'm not in any way defending the way he operates, the way he does things, in no way, shape, or form. I think he's a fucking weirdo, but I feel that way about plenty of people. I feel like this is the way of humans today. This is human nature in this current time, and people are ignoring that. And I feel like there's a much bigger problem that needs to be focused on: the heart space. People keep trying to ignore and pass judgment on other people that have this. They have an extreme way of dipping off into that dark energy. Yeah, I see it, but you don't do any better. You literally don't do. Majority of people literally don't do any better. Bro, literally sit. And I remember doing this. I wanted to be a better person. I still want to be a better person. There was times where I would jot down certain things that I felt throughout the day and try to analyze it. Why did I feel this way? Well, I felt like that because and I try to figure out how to better structure the things that I react on, that comes to my mind first. The first thought that comes to my mind. How do I better restructure this in my actions so that I'm not out here dipping off into that dark energy, like how I look at some other people. You might have something to say negative about Trump, but seriously though, how is your behavior and how you treat the people around you or yourself beneficial to this world being a better place? Is it at all? This is something you really have to think about. 1347, as I'm saying, if it's not, please take the time, jot these things down and work through it. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, we have a lot of succubus energy walking around here, right? We have a lot of energy of people that are full of greed, right? We have a lot of energy of people that are, myself, I feel like I have addictive tendencies, nigga. So we have the energy of addiction running around here. All of these are sins. All of these are our spirits, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Like legit spirits, bro. Let's look at the reason why they call wine and spirits. You think that's a coincidence, nigga? You do really think that that's a damn coincidence that they call it wine and spirits? That is one of the easiest ways to get an attachment on you is through drinking. Drinking and sex. Those are the things that get the most fastest. You get the most fastest satisfaction from those things, right? Drinking and sexual pleasure. There's so many people in this world building relationships with each other off of sex, money, drugs, and not off of this. This has gone, bro. If you have not recognized that, I don't know. The heart space is gone. People aren't using their heart to take action in this world anymore. Even the stuff that I be talking about between men and women, like women retaliating and men doing certain weird things because they want to make women feel away or whatever. Like, all of these things have something to do with your spirit and the fact that you keep choosing that dark, bro. I'm telling you. And there's so many people doing that right now, but they looking at a nigga like Trump like, oh, where the fuck do you think you go when you keep drifting off into that dark? You end up like niggas like him. This is the reason why I do this shit, because I want for people to change, bro. I see so much of this behavior around me and hear so much of it, and it's like, nigga, what? I'll start laughing. I'm like, nigga, you was just making fun of somebody the other day. Now you mad at Trump because he said something about disabled people? You just made fun of a disabled person the other day, but you thought the whole world can't see you doing this, so you don't feel that shame. You getting mad at Trump because... And mind you, I can't stand this nigga. But guess what? I'm a person that can't stand this nigga that don't do none of the shit that he do. Can you imagine we living in a world where there's so many people that's talking about how, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that, but they partake in the same behavior? Where we going with this? Focus on healing. Focus on becoming a better person. For real, nigga. And then you could talk. The reaction that people have to things that they even disagree with, and I'm talking about just the space we're at right now in this world. When I'm talking about human interaction between people and shit like that, like, it's really bad. It's really bad. Today, it's like when people converse with each other, if they're not initially attracted to something, regardless if that be physical features, you having money, and I don't care if it's even a friend, it's scary, bro. They're going to treat you like garbage and pretend like it didn't happen. Oh, that they deserve that because I'm me and I'm not a mean person and blah. Like, no, this was a mean act. Look at this situation. Look at the circumstance. Look at the action. Look at the thought. What is going on? I'm not really sure, but I'm aware, and I'm happy that I'm aware. Because with that awareness, you are able to work on these things, bro. And I'm just happy of my awareness. And I see that there's plenty of aware people out there, but it's not enlarged. And I would love to see it be enlarged, that this awareness is just spread everywhere. I would love to see that. I would love for that to be the topic of conversation rather than it be somebody else's own personal struggle with their spirit. What about your struggle with your spirit? Like, for real, bro. Like, I could talk about Trump all day. Me and him don't share the same spirit in any manner. You feel what I'm saying? Like, we don't partake in the same activity. I don't speak to people like him. I don't have a heart like him. I don't operate the way he does. But can you say the same for real, actually? Like, actually, though. Because I can't call up nobody and be like, yo, have I ever treated you like this, nigga? They can't. A nigga can't tell me I bullied them, bro. A nigga can't tell me I literally made fun of them and try to embarrass them. No. I crack jokes, yeah, but a nigga can't tell me none of these things, bro. You feel me? A nigga can't tell me I scammed them. You can't tell me none of these things, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Because there's no gray area with a nigga like me. I understand right from wrong, bro. There's no in between. You feel what I'm saying? The last reading I did, I was talking about that middleman. Right? He think he a middleman for the devil, nigga. Like, how that work? There's such thing as balance, meaning that you can draw from both sides, right? And maintain stability. What do I mean by that? That dark and that light side. You could draw from both sides and maintain stability. How far off of that side do you go off into, though? If you go a little too far to the left, you gonna fall. You go a little too far to the right, you gonna fall. You have to be just right here and center in the middle, and it takes time to get there. You could be 60 years old and you still ain't there. You could be 50 years old and you still ain't there. Nigga, you could never get there in this lifetime. But it's about the try. Are you trying? Are you trying to get to that point of balance? What are you doing to get there? What are you analyzing in you? I don't see people. This is not common. This is a rare thing that I know people partake in, but I don't really see people doing that. Like, do you actually analyze yourself? What thoughts that come to my mind do I act out on? Why do I act out on these specific type of thoughts? What kind of behavior do I show? What kind of things do I take on? Do you actually analyze these things? Because I've taken the time to analyze these things about myself, and I do it regularly now to the point where it's kind of just is a habit. It's like I have a level of self-awareness. 21 as I'm saying this. That's important, bro. So it's like a nigga like Trump could have never, ever in this fucking lifetime been able to be in such a position. This world would not be what it is or where it's going to if people like that did not exist. There's a lot of people like that. There's even people like that think that there are people like me. And it's scary. It's like, no, the fuck you're not. Those are the individuals that try to be a middleman to the devil. It don't work. It don't work, bro. It's either you understand balance or nothing. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I strongly believe that this place here that we live in is hell. It sounds fucking crazy, right? Let me tell you why I believe that this is hell. I believe that this is hell because I feel like a lot of different beings have access to us, to our way of thinking in our world, except for us. Just take a second and sit with that. I think a lot of different beings have access to our world except for us. We don't have access to even a certain part of our brain. We don't have access to a certain level of our own sight. Humans think that they're the smartest beings on this planet, while animals literally know more than them. They just don't have to live like us. What else is it? There are so many dark things that happen here. And even when you find the most righteous person, they still have dark in them. So this couldn't be heaven, of course. right? CIA also came out with the fact that alien life exists. I mean, aliens exist. This is a thing now. This is not something that's just a theory. You know, we understand that they exist. I feel like we're inside of some type of like Truman Show almost. So I don't think that this is like literal, like the hell that they talk about in the Bible. But I think that the human experience within itself is like a form of hell. I feel like when you die, you are actually born, right? I feel like this is kind of, because there's so many unanswered questions that I have, and I don't like going down these types of rabbit holes. But like, even just questioning, like, how are you able to read people's thoughts and use them to advertise to them on an individual basis? Do you understand that majority of people think that that kind of power is of God, nigga? They like, nigga, only God could do some shit like that. These niggas is creating technology that is like something you would think God should only be able to do. And I feel like it's largely because of the fact that a lot of people here are like, I'm like slowing down from saying it because it's like, it sounds fucking ridiculous. A lot of people here are demons, bro. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna come out and say it. A lot of people here, I feel like Earth is the place that you come to in order to become a better person, and then when you die, you actually experience life. I'm just put that right there. Like, you take what you will with that. I don't care if you think I'm crazy, alright? That's how I feel about it. So I feel like this is like a form of hell, right? A form of a place for redemption. Individuals can choose to redeem themselves while they're here. Throughout your lifetime, you are being evaluated, I feel. You're being evaluated by different beings. I do feel like that. And I feel like when you fucking die, you were chosen at some point to die. And I feel like after that point, that is when you are truly actually born. What kind of being born? I don't know. Please don't ask me. But I feel like that's when you are truly born, bro. These are just theories. This is just a feeling. I have no idea, and I have no studies behind this whatsoever. But the other things that are actually studied by the CIA, I will be putting it here. The study that they did at the university, I will be putting that here. And then also that little piece that guy gave about Trump, which I do agree with. I agree with everything he said, but I would like for a lot of people to evaluate that with themselves as well, because I don't think that they're recognizing that it's a much bigger issue than Trump. We are under spiritual attack here. There's the dark fighting the light. And it's so sad that people keep saying, oh, where's God? Where's God? He's trying, bro. If you don't realize, I don't know what's wrong with you, but y'all literally keep abandoning him. Like, let me just put this out there. Like, say if I'm helping you, right? I'm trying to help you, and I'm trying to help 15 other people. And while I'm trying to help you, I say to you, hey, you cannot go to this other person right here, because if you go to them, I'm gonna lose something. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna lose something. Right? If you go to this other person, I'm going to lose something, and I'm trying my best to help you, so please just stay here. Right? But that other person is offering this individual money, they offering them sex, they offering them liquor, they offering them a good time. Normally what the devil offers here, right? We perceive it as a luxury, but is it really? I don't think so. It's not a luxury, right? So they go to that other individual right? Now God, or that person that's helping, lost another person. This is what's happening. God telling you what to do. He telling you how to walk. He telling you how to talk. And you are choosing to go against it and choosing to go to that dark 2847, and I said it. And it's because it benefits you. And people don't want to talk about that. They want to look at Trump like he the worst thing on earth. I think a lot of people are the worst thing on earth. A lot of people, humans in general, are just the worst thing for earth. It's like, I don't know, bro. I'm talking about on an individual level and on an individual basis, people need to start evaluating themselves. There's something wrong with everybody. Like I said, when you balance, you still got that dark, you still have that light. So of course there's going to be certain things that you do that's not right, that wrong. But at the same time, it's how far do you drift off into that? There's levels, just like how we have levels to how much time somebody could get depending on the crime they did. Oh, you did this, so you only get 2 years, but if a nigga kills somebody, you getting about 30, probably a lifetime sentence, right? So there's difference in the level of how bad someone can do or how good someone can do. And I feel like people aren't recognizing how extreme they're drifting off into those bad spaces, and then looking at people like Trump that are on display and pretending like they've never partook in activity like that, like they've never said anything like that to anybody. And those are the dangerous people in this world, because they pretend like that until they're in a position of power. And then they show you who the fuck they really are. And this is why I said individuals like Trump would never be able to be in such a position if people like that just did not exist. But too many of them exist. And too many of them pretend as if that's not them, because it's shameful to acknowledge you ain't shit, nigga. And I'm gonna leave it right there. You need to get out of your head.
The progression is I'm going to knock them upside the head and take the bread from them.
To get rid of your head. It is wicked, right?
White man doesn't even come into my attitude. Mr. Muhammad teaches us to love our own kind and let the white man take care of himself.
Slipping by somebody.